All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the comment section. We're here to recap a sizzling Week 7 NFL action. PokerGuy, how you doing out there on the East Coast?
I'm good, man. Finally feeling like winter down here. It dropped down to like 72 degrees. So we've got the winter jackets out here in Florida.
Nice to get those 3 a.m. temperatures below 80. That's always good. It's always good to do that. I'll tell you where they're not enjoying warm temperatures. It's over there in England, where there was a game played this morning that nobody watched. I didn't watch a minute of this game. Did you watch any of that Chargers-Titans game?
I didn't, but I watched the YouTube recap, and I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Well, that's more than I watched, so you give me a heads up. What happened in that thing?
So pretty much I spaced out and was fucking around on Twitter until like the 2-minute mark left in the video, and I looked up and I saw that the score, I think the Titans were down a touchdown. They ended up taking it all the way down to the field, and Mad Mike Vrabel, classic Vrabel fashion, he went for two. And he went, so the score is 19-20 Chargers. Chargers ended up winning the game. Titans, all they needed to do to tie it and send it into overtime was to kick the extra point. They chose not to. They chose to go full Les Miles, and they went for two, and Mariota totally fucked it up. And nobody really seemed to care. Nobody in England really gives a shit. They were singing their campfire songs and doing whatever soccer fans do. So
Just hanging
the
out
game.
with their cars on, not giving a shit about the Chargers football team. That's what the Chargers, they were really thriving in that environment, I would imagine. The only thing that they weren't used to, they're used to having people in the stadium not give a shit about their game. They're just maybe not that used to that many people showing up.
Yeah, it's more of a confusion, if anything, but that's one of those kind of like skills the Chargers have is they've never really played a home game in the last 20 years. So, that might be able to help them out. Maybe if they make the playoffs and they have to go play like a playoff game and wherever, like Kansas City or Cincinnati, they may be able to, use that to their advantage.
They're not going to be scared. They've been playing 32 straight road games at this point at a minimum, but they are 5-2. So
They are 5-2. That's right.
When that losing streak's going to start. Anthony Lynn, the head coach, he doesn't inspire confidence. A lot of people bagging on him. That was basically how I followed the game, is people shitting on him on Twitter. But that's the way that it goes. And before we get into the rest of these games, got to do a quick. I know everyone's wondering how my Xbox One thing ended up working out. So I left a lot
How'd
of
that turn out for you?
Hanger in that preview episode. And you're like, hey, how'd that work out for you, Bobby? I said, well, here's the good news. And never at any point in time did I talk to a human being from Microsoft, Xbox, or anything like that. But immediately after the podcast, I got on Twitter and did my best to talk as much shit about Microsoft and their poor customer service as I possibly could. And what that did is it got some, they call themselves Xbox ambassadors. So I guess they must be people who monitor social media for intense bashing of their companies. And then eventually some guy got back to me and he's like, hey, have you deleted the account from your Xbox and then reinstalled it? I said, no, I haven't done that. So I did that, and voila, there we go. 78 gigabytes later, I'm playing Halo Online. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because turns out I'm not any good. I think I already knew that, but I got noob stomped pretty goddamn hard by all the 12-year-olds that are playing Halo, and it's a very humbling experience for me.
That's how it goes, man. That game's about memory, right? So you're sitting there trying to make those new neurons like click and stuff, And these kids, they're essentially river dancing around the map, picking up the rocket launcher, picking up the grenades. Next thing you know, you went 2-30, 2 kills, 30 deaths, and you're screaming at your television, scaring your wife. But that's just how it goes. You got to put the work in. Next thing you know, you're going to be going 8-8, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Well, the thing is,
you're an
most
adult.
of my screaming was when I would finally kill somebody. When I'd finally kill somebody, I'd just get this primal release of like, yeah, fuck you, yeah, fuck you. And then I'm a melee man when it comes to Halo, and I'm trying to kill you with the melee as much as I can. Machine gun to the melee, and that's my main thing, because I can't hit you with that battle rifle. I'm like Joe Namath, just that crosshair just fucking swinging around everywhere. Can't hit the beat on you because I just don't have the dexterity or the coordination or whatever it is to do that consistently. But that battle rifle, I'm no good with that thing, and they're starting you off with that in a whole lot of game types. So
Yeah.
I'm at a tremendous disadvantage. The other thing too is I think there's a lot of people that are still playing that with little crews, and when you get in there commando style like I am, things will fall apart real quick. I mean, I
Yeah.
get it that I'm not any good, but why is nobody else on my team any good? Because I suffered some very crushing losses. When you're like 6-9 or 6-12, and you're the top guy on your team in a like a team kill or whatever the hell they call that, you
Mm-hmm.
know there's something wrong.
Slayer.
Yeah, Team
Yeah.
Slayer. Yeah, we got fucking. Or we do those bomb games, and it's like, all right, it's a neutral bomb. We just got crushed 3-0 in about 4 minutes. So it's like, all right, this is not that much fun. So I went back to the campaign and played me a little Truth and Reconciliation. Probably the best level on that game.
Is
I
that
don't
the
know.
first one? The
Yeah,
first
the first
level?
one. No, it's not the first level. It's the third level. It's the one with the sniper rifle where you go up in the ship, and then I don't know. Yeah, run around there and find the captain. Get the captain to safety.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a
I
good
think
one.
my favorite one is that first level. The very first single player level where you're starting to interact with people and everybody's blowing up and shit around you. You got to give credit to Bungie and Halo. That game, when you first played it, the very first time you played it when you were 13 or 18, however old you were, that shit it just blew me away. It's fucking
Yeah,
incredible.
it's the last great campaign game that ever got into my mind. So that
Yeah.
was good. Actually, I'm wrong when I say that. The last great campaign game was Call of Duty One. That
Yeah,
was a
Modern Warfare.
campaign.
Was
Modern
that the one
Warfare.
where you died at the end? Where like you're flying in the helicopter and you look back and there's an explosion? Is that the
Something
one?
like that. I don't really remember, but he had that great sniper level where you had to crawl and then you ended up in the top of that office building. You had to take that helicopter out. Good stuff. Very good stuff.
Mm. I
But
don't remember.
I
Too
don't
much
know.
CTE in my life, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you've been running too many running plays. Unlike Adrian Peterson, who got barely enough work today for the Redskins to get by.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead. Let's get into these games. Start off here. Panthers 21, Eagles 17. Panthers
Ooh.
take the Eagles out at home. And Wentz had a pretty good stat line, but he couldn't move the offense much in that fourth quarter. Cam Newton had 3 touchdowns. Carson Wentz had 0. Does Carson Wentz not have the clutch gene?
Well, I think it's not that he doesn't have the clutch gene. I think it just goes back to the Eagles defense being terrible because at the fourth quarter, you're kind of on like autopilot, and Cam Newton takes advantage of that. And so they were saying that he had 3 straight possessions, 3 straight touchdowns, and good Cam showed up. Bad Cam's not very scary, but good Cam, he's very, very scary.
He's
Good
scared to
Cam
do
showed
it.
up.
But I'll tell you, I know one guy that does have the clutch gene on the Eagles. I'm just saying.
Who's
I'm just
that?
saying. They got a Super Bowl MVP on their team, and we all know that he's clutch. And we think about, is it Foles time?
I don't
It's
think it's full.
not, but I'm going to continue to push that agenda and
Well, look
say,
at the
hey,
Eagles' rushing yards. 9 attempts for 32 yards is their rushing. Like their total rushing yards, I think were under 100 yards, which is like really garbage.
they could
So it doesn't matter how bad their run game is.
17-0 and then give away a fourth quarter lead like that because you can't
We
run the
said it
ball
last
well.
time. Defense is scary because I think the Eagles offense can do it. I think their defense is what's going to get them into trouble, and you can see it. So I don't think Nick Foles is the answer as much as you want to see him, walking around, fucking being slow, whatever. But I don't think he's the answer.
Yeah, well, agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. And let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Bucks hosting the Browns. Bucks 26, Browns 23. This is an extremely Cleveland Browns versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers football game. You got two of these coaches, two of the worst coaches in the league, just trying to give the game to each other. At the end of regulation, Dirk Cutter, he pulls a Jason Garrett, who we'll get to him later. All of that went to the unsullied school of leadership where you just got no nuts in your sack.
No
Like
balls.
you just decide, hey, what's that? Our field goal kicker once made a field goal from 55 yards. Cool. I know we got 2 minutes left and we're on the 35, but we're just going to kind of kneel on this thing. And then they're like, yeah, but we're going to go ahead and center the ball. We're going to go ahead and center the thing for this guy from 55. And at the end of the game, whoever their kicker is, I don't even know who he is. It doesn't matter. He missed
Gonzalez, I think.
the winning field goal in regulation. So you think, all right, Browns, they got a chance. And then you get into overtime, and then we were all waiting for it. And that was the best part of the game for me, obviously. As the Bucks get the ball back, Jameis drops back and then hits whoever that was, Landon Collins, Lyle Collins, whoever that Collins guy is for the Browns, hits
Right in the face.
In the chest. Just dead center, straight in the chest, right between the numbers. And what did the announcer say, Poker Guy?
Oh, man, it was classic. Jameis Winston didn't see that guy.
I didn't see that guy, goddamn it. I didn't see him.
That's so funny.
Classic Jameis. Right then you think, all right, this is going to be over. Browns go full Browns, get the ball back to the Bucks. End overtime. Dirk Cutter decides, I know my kicker missed from 40, so let me go ahead and have him kick from 59. Baker Mayfield, he's ready to go back in there, win the game. Until that dude just guts the uprights,
that was crazy
right in the middle of them, and sadness. That is Baker Mayfield. His picture's floating all around Twitter right now.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That was very entertaining. LeBron James was upset about it too. He made a tweet that he was all pissed that, well, he's a pretend Browns fan. I don't think he really likes the Browns. He just says he likes the Browns for Twitter points or whatever. But he's very upset that the Browns lost that game.
Hey, Skip Bayless coming after LeBron, coming after him. Speaking of,
I like
people
LeBron.
coming after LeBron and his teammates. Let's talk a little bit about that Lakers. Who the fuck were they playing? Houston. That Lakers-Houston fight. Did you see that? Have you heard about that?
I did. I have seen it, and I did hear about it. What do you want to talk about, dude? The evidence is out there. They actually just released a video. Okay, so this is what happened. I guess there's some kind of bullshit. I think
Rondo spitting. They slowed that shit way down.
Oh, you saw it, right? You saw like the mega super slow motion video of it.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Snake, dude. One of those like spitter snakes.
Yeah, I don't know if he like spit at him. Right? I'm not saying he didn't spit at him. He spit something at him. But I'm wondering if it was like he didn't kind of hawk a loogie on him. I don't know if he
come on.
Tweaked at him, or if he kind of spit the sweat off of his own lips. You know what I'm saying?
Do you believe that?
Do
you really believe that? You really believe that Rondo was just adjusting his night guard in Chris Paul's face?
No,
you think that's what it was?
I know he spit something at him. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I don't know if he had sweat dropping down his lips, and then he's like, all right, let me just go ahead and send this sweat Chris's way. But he definitely
he spit on him.
Spit at the guy. I don't know what it was.
Spit on him. Well, that I think Paul Pierce or somebody came out and said that they were expecting this fight to happen years ago because Rondo, I guess, has been giving CP3 shit for years, telling him that you're not going to get a ring. I have a ring. Blah blah blah. For years, he's been fucking with CP3.
Since 2009, at the minimum, those dudes have been going at it.
And they don't like each other. And then on top of that, I think there's a little bit of drama between their women. They were apparently shitting on each other. So you have that drama. And then Rondo's been kind of like that elderly dog at the dog park that's like 13 years old, doesn't like other dogs. It's just irritable. He's an irritable little dog now. Unfortunately, we have HD super mega slow-mo cameras, so you're not going to get away with that shit, buddy. It ain't going to happen.
That is an instant way to start a fight, though. So I was at a party in college, and I was there with this guy. There's a whole bunch of us there. I was there with this guy. He's had some substance abuse problems and some anger issues that, kind of throughout his life. But we're there, and we're all standing around, and he's fucked up. And he's like, for whatever reason, people in our group are trying to start a fight with another group of people. Mm-hmm. And he just looks at us and he's like, I got this. And he just walks over and he fucking spits on somebody. And that's his way. He's like, all right, I got this. This is how I'm going to start a fight. And he just walks across a patio and spits on somebody, and then shit just breaks out. So you can't just spit on somebody and not fucking have a riot breakout. But if I'm
Yeah.
going to score that fight, I know, Rondo. He got a couple good ones in there. I'm going to give the first round to him 10-9. If they're coming back in to finish this thing up, CP3 better be looking for the knockout because he's behind on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the real winner is Brandon Ingram.
I was gonna say, man, you got to give the ride or die award to Brandon Ingram. He's like your girlfriend, when you're getting into a fight with another man, he comes in and
Yeah.
prison shanks the other dude with like a sharpened toothbrush, and then when you guys get home, you guys high five each other. You're like, "Thanks, baby."
Yeah, I mean,
You
that
did it.
guy, he threw that punch from about the 3-point line and then did some sort of Street Fighter move. Whatever that fucking guy is, that Indian dude from Street Fighter, threw one of that guy's punches at him and just nailed Paul in the face again. So
Yeah,
Chris
it's
Paul
awesome.
definitely got his ass kicked. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to, but he got his ass beat.
I'll
And
tell you what, though, Chris Paul's been a bitch for years. He's like the ultimate flopper. He's such a fucking baby. I do not like Chris Paul, and the people on Reddit, they don't like him either. Just like One Piece Ace says, he says CP3 is such a little mf'er. A lot of people have been clamoring for fuck CP3, but once they've seen the Rondo video, they're a little upset because it's pretty clear cut that Rondo spit on CP3.
yeah, he definitely spit on that dude.
Did you see the opera music cut of it? It's them in super mega slow mo with opera music. You ever seen that?
No, I might have to look that up a little bit later though.
I would watch it like 3 times already. It's so classic. It's so good.
So that's unacceptable. We can't have that sort of stuff in the NBA. And I'll tell you what else is
I
unacceptable.
love it. I fucking love it.
I love it too. I'm just kidding. I fucking
I
love that
love
shit.
it.
There should
I
be
love that shit.
right. I wish
Did you see? Did you see last year the Robin Lopez Serge Ibaka fight?
I do not remember that one.
When you get a chance, look that up. If you want, you can look that up now as I talk about it. But there's this fight. There wasn't any contact. There wasn't any contact, but goddamn, those were some mean haymakers that were being thrown. If Robin Lopez was a little bit to the left or Serge Ibaka was a little bit to the right, and he would have connected, there would have been some busted lips in there. It was a potential.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Crazy.
Jimmy Butler's running around there too.
Yeah.
So they fucking, you need me, Robin, to back you up. You fucking need me.
Oh my God! Did you see the Jimmy Butler thing?
Which one?
With Cat. I don't forget his name. Kyle Anthony Thomas. I forget his first
Towns?
name. Yeah, Towns or whatever. K-A-T. They call him the Cat. Whatever. He was playing the Mavericks and he had to hit these like clutch 2 free throws to, I guess, bring the game a little bit closer at the end of regulation so they could potentially win. The Mavericks fans were chanting Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler, doing their thing, just shitting on Cat as he was doing the free throws and he missed, which is always hilarious. Super funny.
Always great to see somebody let their team down at the free throw line. And that's like watching kickers miss field goals. It's always gratifying. It doesn't matter who you're rooting for.
That's a pretty good segue if you want to talk about a certain kicker who needs to go get some fucking LASIK surgery.
Are we going after Justin Tucker right now?
Let's just talk about him now. You brought it up. Let's talk about it.
Justin Tucker. I'm sorry. You did this to yourself, though. And I'll tell you what, he hit 222 in a row. And
you're going to miss one every once in a while. Every dog has its day.
He went full Mason Crosby on that one. And I'll tell you what, nobody looked more surprised about that than Justin Tucker did.
Yeah.
He was like fucking having a spasm after he missed that thing. He couldn't believe that he missed it. Joe Flacco is not upset because Joe Flacco doesn't give a shit whether they win or lose. So he's pretty mellow about the loss. Saints moving to 5-1, 24-23 at the Ravens. I'll tell you, Drew Brees had a quiet day. It's the number 1 defense in the league, scoring and with the yardage allowed. They played well, but the Saints put up 17 on them in the fourth quarter, wore them down over the course of the game. And like I said, that Justin Tucker thing, if I had to pick any kicker in the league to kick that at the end of the game, he's the guy that
Justin
you pick.
Tucker. Yeah.
It's kind of like there's this old King of the Hill episode. Have you ever seen King of the Hill? You ever watch that?
You mean Barber? Damn it, Barber.
Yeah, with Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about white people from Texas. So I don't know if you
Yeah, it's
if
awesome.
you like
Sells
it that
propane. He
much.
sells propane and
Propane
fun.
accessories. Well, there's an episode of that where he's won the opportunity to throw a football through a beer can with like a little opening in it, and he can throw it himself for uh, $1 million, or he can get Dandy Don Meredith, former Cowboys quarterback, to throw it for him.
Oh
And
no.
the whole notion is that, hey, Dandy Don is the sure thing. Like, why do you want to do it yourself? Let this former NFL quarterback throw it for you.
Right.
And then he goes out there and he doesn't even take his fucking jacket off, and he just slings it at the thing, dunks it off of there, and then walks away. So it's like, that's kind of what Justin Tucker did. He's the guy you'd pick to do that, but he let everybody in Baltimore down. It's the first time for him. Hope that doesn't get in
Yeah,
his head. He's one of the best of all time, but
he's really good.
tough
He
loss.
had that one season, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where he was hitting everything. Like I think he went perfect for the season, or he had maybe like one miss. He's
Yeah,
been good for a long time.
he always hits everything.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move past that into the lines at the Dolphins. This is a turn of a game. I'm really disappointed in this game. Not so much that the Lions won or the Dolphins lost, but there seemed to be just an incredible amount of this game being shown on the Red Zone channel. And that was fucked up. Like, that was really fucked up. I'm going to get on Twitter. I'm going to get after Scott Hansen and ask him how he could do that to me. Because, God, man, of all the things I didn't want to watch that much of today, it was the Brockmeister versus Matt Stafford. And 32-21, Dolphins lose. Guess what, Miami? I called it earlier. Here comes the Reaper. You're about to get fucked up the rest of the year. You're pretenders at the beginning. You're getting exposed. And here comes the slide. Not here comes the slide. The slide will continue.
Did you happen to see the Kenny Stills? Talk us through that.
Except there's one thing I am glad the Red Zone showed me. And the best part about that was, so Kenny Stills catches a pass in the corner of the end zone. And spoiler alert, Kenny Stills wins this week's Applesauce Award because he fucking applesauced the security guard who was standing. She was standing maybe. So this is a lady who, when she's not being a security guard for the Dolphins, she definitely makes like homemade empanadas and then sells them at PTO events because she's like a 45-year-old Latina woman, and she's not paying attention to anything because that's her job, right? Her job is not to watch the football game. Her job is to make sure that, the dude in 3B is not chucking beers at Kenny Stills like when he scores a touchdown. But that end line is dangerously close to the goal line, and she was maybe 10 feet out from where he caught that touchdown pass. So he catches it and just smashes her in the back, puts her head into the wall, and falls on her arm. I'm pretty sure she dislocated her shoulder. She's in the NFL security guard concussion protocol, and she may miss next week's game. I don't know. We have to get Dr. James Andrews to clear her before we can get her back on the sideline. But the best part about that was when he caught the ball, it was like they kept rerunning it. And they kept rerunning it under like the notion that, hey, Bill, let's see if he got his feet down here. Oh, whoa, he nailed her at the end. Let's go ahead and check it from this angle, see how the feet are. Boom, yeah. Like, it's okay, keep it coming, man. Keep it coming. So whoever you, and then the best part was she's fucking collapsed on the ground, like trying to breathe, wondering where the hell she is. And Kenny Stills, he tries to hand her like the ball that he got, scored the touchdown with, and she can't even get her senses together to like look up at him and take it from her. So he just kind of like drops it on her lap and runs away. So Kenny Stills, a runaway winner for this week's Applesauce Award.
Oh God, I'm still pissing my pants, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
She's not really designed to do anything just other than stand there and look orange.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, that's the other thing too that you notice about a lot of quote unquote security guards at these big events. It's like you're really nothing more than a walking radio. Like, you're nothing more than that. Like, you could not. Like, she's got no mobility. Like, her Madden rating on speed is probably like two to three. Like Linval Joseph, that big guy who ran back the touchdown pass for the Vikings. I think it was the Vikings. After he did that, they raised his Madden speed rating to like 78. So he's like a 300-pound man, and his speed rating's up in the upper 70s. I'm guaranteed she's got a single-digit speed rating, and you can't have security guards that have single-digit Madden speed ratings like on your staff. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of single-digit speed ratings, I was at the mall with my wife the other day, and I saw this dude who was like a Paul Blart, like doppelganger. Just a mall security guard, big old fucking white guy with a huge gut. And I was like, I wonder how many times a day that guy has some punk-ass high school kid call him Paul Blart. Because I'm a grown man with like a, less than adequate sense of decorum. But I was on the edge of giving him something. Like, hey, Paul Blart, how you doing, man? Like, I just see those guys, and I'm like, dude, he's never going to catch, some 18-year-old punk kid running out of Hot Topic with his new ICP t-shirt wondering how magnets work. I think they're going to be able to do that.
Oh,
like,
shit.
man. And then the other thing too that made me think about is that he was not on a Segway, and I'm not seeing very. I feel like Segway's dying off, man. I'm not seeing nearly enough people on Segways.
I haven't seen them for a long time. I used to see them when I was living up in the Northeast, but I haven't seen them at all.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just too expensive. Use your fucking legs.
Well, here's the thing.
Just use your legs.
Yeah, maybe they put them all into a graveyard so that they could get him refurbished, so that when Adrian Peterson ends his career, they got him all ready for AP. So let's kind of move on to this Cowboys-Redskins game. Cowboys at the Redskins. This is another matchup. This is like Bucks-Browns matchup of just fucking stupid coaches. So you got Jason Garrett, who's the Dirk Cutter here, and then I guess no, Dirk Cutter won that game, but still, they're all both terrible. Cowboys at the Redskins, 2017. Redskins take it. It's really the end of that game that's interesting to me. And now here's what I'm glad to see. AP did get his 24 attempts for 99 yards. Wish he would have broke 100, but at least he got the workload this week.
Did you see at the very end when Dak Prescott fumbled or got strip sacked for a touchdown? Did you see that Redskins guy run into the stands? And then he was getting like bombarded. He was trying to do the Lambeau leap, and there was a woman there in like cowboy shit, and she was like hitting him, kind of like a cat with like that's been declawed, kind of just like pawing at this thing. Like she was pissed, and everybody, I don't know. That did not get enough screen time, but I don't know if you saw that, but I was pissing my pants when I saw that.
I didn't, and that's assault. That's assault, brother. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You just beat on somebody.
There's been a lot of assault last couple of weeks, man. Everybody's been really irritable. Everybody's been super mega pissed last couple of weeks.
These elections coming up. People are running on high. Yeah, they're either trying to make America great again or make it worse again or whatever the opposite people are doing. I don't know what their tagline is, but a lot of tension is running high. We'll see how that all turns out for America here in a couple weeks, but.
You know what's going to happen? Nothing's going to change. Literally.
Oh, hey, different rich white people in suits are now stealing money from the working man. All right, great. They're either doing it and being real about it or doing it and fucking pretending that they're not. So it's like, fuck all those people.
Right. As long as I get my 4G, LTE, and wireless, and my Netflix, and my video games, and my distractions, I'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going to get over it.
I'll be okay.
We're going to make it. We're going to make it. I don't know if Jason Garrett's going to make it out of the year. I hope he does. There's a guy who I hope he keeps that job for another half a decade because I can't get enough of Skip Bayless losing his damn mind on Twitter. Skip Bayless during a Cowboys loss is probably the best follow on all of Twitter.
What was going on? What was he doing?
I mean, he's just your classic armchair quarterback. Who doesn't know what he's talking about. He's basically just doing what he does on TV every day. but he's taking it very personal, and you can tell that it really hurts. So it feels good. It feels good to like watch it happen. So Redskins moved to 4-2. Dallas falls at 3-4, and Redskins solo first place in the division. Haven't heard that in a while. Not since our boy RG3 was rocking that lifeguard hat, setting DC on fire.
No, that was before he was rocking the lifeguard hat. He was rocking the lifeguard hat on the sidelines when Kirk Cousins was stealing his job. When he was winning, he had those little cornrow things. Those little the little dreads, the mini dreads.
Yeah, mini dreads. He still had the. I don't know. We'll go ahead. We'll get research on that, and we'll get all the information we can on RG3.
We'll ask Jamie to put that shit up later.
So go ahead and move on here, talking about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, quarterback, the Vikings. Like we said in the preview, he's having a sneaky good year, and this is one of our best bets of the week. This could go in that. You're welcome, bro. We were very much on the Vikings-Jets over, and one of the reasons for that was, hey, we might have some turnovers, and we might have Sam Darnold giving the Vikings a short field, and he sure as heck did that.
Yeah.
206 yards,
3 interceptions.
Picks for Sam Darnold. Cousins had a clean game. Adam Thielen, another 110 yards and a touchdown. You're happy to have him on your fantasy team. 37-17. Vikings move to 4-2-1. Jets fall to 3-4. I don't care about that. Sam Darnold's still the best quarterback in New York. And people are only forgetting that because Eli Manning hasn't played yet. But we're going to see him in Atlanta on Monday, and we'll all get reminded of how dead he is.
No. Is anything going to change your mind? What if he has a good game? What if he has like a killer 400 yards?
There's no way he can change my mind at this point. I've seen too much.
His career's over.
I've been watching that guy for 5 years and thinking, man, he's done. Like, he's done. And that arm is noodling out, and he's at like a good 6.5, 7 on the Peyton Manning noodle arm scale. And there's a good chance he gets to 7.5, 8 by the end of the year. And the only reason they can't replace him is because no one knows who their backup quarterback is. So they're gonna let him
bring back out. Bring back Geno Smith. Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't even know where that.
Or bring Kaepernick. Dude, what happened to Kaepernick? Where the fuck is he?
Oh, he's done playing football, man. I'm tired of people talking about that dude like he's ever going to play football again. He's been out of the league for 2 years at this point. You can't just.
He's not even on a roster. He's not like riding the bench somewhere. In Jacksonville or something.
That was one of his strategic things. Is at a couple points, I think people offered him contracts that he quietly turned down, so he could pretend like he was blackballed. But that's the whole thing. That's the other thing too with that Panthers game. We saw that the little mini scuffle between Eric Reed and Malcolm Jenkins.
I did not see that.
So there are a couple dudes that initially were Team Kaepernick, and then something happened where Malcolm Jenkins kind of broke off on his own and made a deal with the NFL or something like that. And Eric Reed is pissed at that guy, like crazy pissed at that guy. Called him a sellout, basically called him a
scab, dude.
Yeah, like a scab. He's like, yeah, he had an agenda from the beginning. He was just looking for money to get his organization funded, and he really came at him hard after the game. So we'll see how that all plays out, but there's some infighting in the progressive movement within the NFL. So
there you go, man. More fighting, more spitting in people's faces, and more fighting.
Yeah, more
good for my entertainment value.
Hell yeah, more fist fights. It was a good weekend for that. So we got to move on.
Keep it coming.
Patriots at the Bears. Pats 5-2. Bears 3-3 after the 38-31 win from Brady and his boys. Gronk did not travel to Chicago. Never a good thing.
Yeah, what's that
about the Patriots offense when he's not playing. But Josh Gordon had a big game and helped carry the day for the Pats.
Yeah, what does that mean when Gronkowski didn't come? And people were making like a really big deal about it. Like there's always some weird drama in New England, but I feel like he's just resting.
It's the fact that he's put together mostly with like cortisone injections and Gorilla Tape and Flex Seal at this point. He was 90% Flex Seal. If you wanted to make a boat out of a screen door and Gronk, you would definitely be able to do that because his body is not aging well, and he's probably going to retire in a year or two. Not because he doesn't like Belichick, not because of any of that, just because, damn it, the NFL has not been easy on that guy.
Yeah. I mean, what can you expect, dude? He's just barreling over safeties. That's what he does.
That's what he does.
Man.
I will say this. Mitch Trubisky, terrible quarterback, pretty decent running back. He's the best
did have a pretty
Bears, but probably only the second best quarterback.
Did have that good running play where he went to the right, went all the way in a big circle. He pretty much did like a giant S on the field and scored that touchdown. Pretty much danced into the end zone.
Yeah, he went in real cocky after that. And I was like, it's pretty cocky for a guy who plays quarterback and can't throw a football. So you need to humble yourself before Belichick.
Well, he got a little cocky. He threw a pass and just got intercepted like right as end of like the first half. So shouldn't have thrown that ball, but he had all of his juices flowing. So what are you gonna do?
That was a crazy end of that game with that Hail Mary all the way to the 1 yard line.
Almost.
That was a very, very close. I can't imagine Belichick was happy about that. But I actually watched his press conference afterwards.
He looks pissed.
Yeah, I mean, he always looks like he lost. Yeah. I love the fact that guy seems to get no joy from winning. I don't know why, but I just love the fact that he refuses to feel the elation of a victory.
He just reminds me of everybody's dad, like when you bring home like a B- in your report card, and he's just, you're minding your own business, and dad walks in, and you're like, fuck. And he's just like, son, explain math to me. Explain why you got a B-. And he's got that face, like that scowl, He's
got the football version of that Asian dad meme on the internet, where it's like, you have hepatitis A. How did you not get A plus? What's the matter? What's wrong?
Say that again.
Oh, it's you got hepatitis A. How do you not have hepatitis A plus?
Can you say it with an accent though, for the viewers?
You can't do that. It's 2018. I don't know if you're allowed to do that unless you're Trey Parker. I know he can get away with it. I don't know if Bobby Fever can get away with it.
Bobby Fever can't get away with it, but that Human Centipede episode, the Human Centipede.
So good. So good.
We'll have to tweet that out or do whatever we got to do to
get that out there. That doesn't make us racist. Enjoying South Park does not mean that you're racist. All right, everybody.
Just make you transphobic.
Yeah, it may make us transphobic. I mean, just remember, Caitlyn Jenner, she's a beautiful woman. All right, she's
kind of hot.
And you fucking think anything otherwise, you're transphobic and you're a monster.
Have you seen the picture of Paul Pierce like looking at her ass or his ass or whatever's ass?
Oh, no, that was transphobic. Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, you got very transphobic on that one, Paul Pierce.
It's her, right?
It's her. Respect your way of life. Paul Pierce. Wait, hi, Caitlyn.
Just Google it. Paul Pierce checking out Caitlyn Jenner's butt.
Jenner.
It's really funny.
Oh, there it is. Okay. He's got a strange look on his face. What I will say,
he's more confused.
While we are on the subject of transphobia, do you see this? Have you heard about this? Where there is a cycling person, this transgendered cyclist, who won a cycling event.
Let me guess. Let me guess. It was a transgender woman who beat the crap out of like two other women. Yes.
So if you had transgender wins bike race, you'll pull this up, and if you look, I don't know if they got a picture. Oh, they got a picture of them on the podium. So the third picture over there, that's the picture of them on the podium. And
it's like a guy.
Yeah, well, it's because it used to be a guy. That's why. And whoever got third in that race, I don't know who it is. I think it's probably the blonde chick on the left. She came out and she's like, "This is fucking bullshit." She was like, "This is bullshit." And like you see that, like the winner of this race is like at least a foot taller than these other two, and it's like that ain't. I mean, I get it. You can use whatever bathroom you want to use, call you whatever you want to be called, but like you can't just like change your name and then start crushing people in sports. Like I don't think that
Yeah.
you should be able to do that. But
I agree with you.
I think that's just me and Jordan Peterson that think that. So maybe.
There's a Joe Rogan podcast episode where they're talking about that same thing where there's a transgender woman. It's like a man that I'm really bad at this because I don't really come in. It used to be a man, and I guess he had the surgery where you remove your genitals. So you had like the gender altering surgery. There's a special name for it.
Yeah, do that
I
little
don't know.
banana split thing. I don't know how that goes, but it's kind of like
Yeah, there's a South Park episode on it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
That episode taught me everything I needed to
in
know.
the same way that
But
most of my homosexual knowledge comes from that scene in Sunny in Philadelphia. Most of my transgender knowledge comes from South Park. So we're not the most informed people on this. We're not very
actually, very uninformed, if anything. Very uninformed. Shouldn't really be talking about it out loud. But anyways, going back to this, Joe Rogan was saying that this transgender woman was in the ring doing MMA with like another woman, like a woman who
not fair.
didn't have the gender surgery or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I hope I don't offend anybody, but it's almost like a man literally beating the shit out of a woman on TV. And it wasn't even close. It was like a total ass whooping.
Yeah.
And
it's like if
fuck this chick up, dude.
Puts a wig on, he should not be able to fight women. Like that's not.
Let me ask you a question.
Let
me ask you a question. You got that picture up with like the cyclists?
Yeah.
You got the picture up?
Yeah.
Would you fuck would you fuck this woman in the middle?
No, of course not. Like let's move off of that. We're heading down a dark path there.
You're just such a jerk. But let's talk about
judgment and transphobia. And we're against that. All right, Foxykins, whatever you are, do your thing. Privacy of your own home. Use whatever bathroom you want to use, but you should not be able to get into an MMA ring and beat the shit out of other people. All right, so we got to draw a line somewhere. All right, we got to draw.
You know my mantra. We're all pink on the inside.
We're all pink on the inside, everybody. Now, we got to see a bit of the insides of the Bills as the Colts busted their guts open today. 37-5. Colts 2-5. Bills 2-5. I tell you what, they didn't take Nathan Peterman out there, but they may as well have. Derek Anderson, 75 yards, 3 interceptions. It is a tough sledding up there in Buffalo at the quarterback position.
How many strippers do you think Jim Irsay murdered last night?
Oh, I don't know. There's at least one of them coming out in a rug, a rolled up rug out of his apartment complex, his very swanky condo in downtown Indianapolis. Somebody got transported out of there in a rug. Probably 2 more tonight after the Celebration victory. He's looking for the extra large mortar and pestle tonight. Extra large mortar and pestle, and he's going to be using one of those McDonald's straws to suck things up with the extra wide diameter. Like so,
the McFlurry straws. Right. He's doing the McFlurry straws. Yeah,
the McFlurry straws. So he's definitely using those. Whatever I need for the extra thick milkshake, that's what Jim needs to get the amount of sludge up his nose to actually get past the tipping point where he's going to feel good and it's a party. But Andrew Luck, he had 4 touchdowns. He didn't throw for very many yards, but he didn't need to. Colts roll, boring game. Let's go ahead and move on. And what's that? Did we just turn the burners off?
Mine are still on. You're the one that's turning them off.
You're leaving the burners on because hey, Bill O'Brien, he took the Texans into what the hell is going on in Jacksonville? They are imploding on themselves. Texans 4-3, Jaguars 3-4, 27 today. Watson played a decent game. Big story with this one was Blake Bortles getting benched at halftime.
Yeah, what's that about? They just benched his ass?
Yeah, because he sucks. Right? So Marone was asked about that. He's like, "Why'd you do it?" And he's like, "I was trying to get a damn spark." And when you turn to Cody Kessler for a spark, these are dire times in Jacksonville. But Bortles, he's kind of I've always labeled Trubisky as Bortles North. And Bortles, I think, led the Jags in rushing. So once again, great running back. Not a real great QB. Maybe he's got a future as
What
like
is
an H-back.
Yeah, what does that mean as far as like a coaching issue? I feel like that's a big coaching problem if he's leading in rushing. Like I know you don't have Fournette, but you still have TJ Yeldon. He's pretty good running back.
He's not that good. He's really not. Um,
He should be putting up more than 28 yards. I mean,
he should
you
be,
have
but he's not. And I know they're missing their left tackle. Robinson got hurt. That's an issue. But guess what? It's the NFL. Bill Belichick lost his starting left tackle before the year even started. Sony Michel went down today. They still put up 38 points because he knows how to fucking coach football.
He knows how to coach football.
Here's what I wonder though: is if Doug Marrone is celebrating with a lunch meets after a win. I wonder how he punishes himself after a loss. I mean, that's the sort of
He probably does the same shit as the guy in the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah,
He does the
one
Da
of
Vinci
those
Code
things
thing,
where he just sits in
closes the door.
Yeah, sits in front of a fire and then slaps himself on the back with the big leather pointed stick thing.
But he, lights the candles. He has the deli meats in the room, but he's not allowed to touch them. So he has to sit there and smell them as he punishes himself.
And then when he tries to reach out for one, he's like, "No, you haven't earned it." And then he just starts smashing himself on the back. His wife's upstairs. Doug, are you gonna be okay? Shut up! Very rough night in the Marrone household. I would not want to be a football coach's wife. That's probably one of the worst gigs in the world.
No, it's probably not that bad.
I bet it's fucking terrible. You're there.
Why?
You're there and you're hanging up all your pictures on Saturday. And oh, good, we finally got the house put together. And then the Texans come in and they fucking kick your ass. And then you just Monday morning, you just start taking those fucking pictures down off the wall. And you're like, I wonder where we're going to be living next year. Because Doug's definitely getting his ass fucking fired at the end of this one.
Look, if I was a chick, there's only one man I wouldn't want to be married to, and that's fucking Tom Brady. Because you don't know if you're getting angry Tom or friendly Tom. If Tom comes back and they lose to the Ravens 27-25, whatever, and he comes in and you're Giselle and you just watch the game, Tom Brady is going to come in and get all rapey on you? No, thank you. No fucking thank you.
Whoa, bro. Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what I mean?
Kidding me? You accusing Tommy of the fucking Me Too and his own wife? You're
no, I'm not saying that. You ever seen him on the sidelines, dude, yelling at Josh McDaniels, like screaming at Josh McDaniels, yelling at Gronk and shit, like verbally abusing people? Give me a break.
Take it back. Take the word rapey back. Take it back. Say, I take it back.
What do I say? What do I replace it with?
Just say, I take it back. I take it back, Tommy.
I don't take it back.
He doesn't take it back. You're a monster. How dare you?
I mean, I like Tom Brady. He's like the best. He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. He's
definitely married.
It's funny because they've got three GOATs on that team. They've got Belichick, who's the GOAT, Brady, who's the GOAT, and then Gronk, who's the GOAT. So they got three of the all-timers.
They also got Robert Kraft, who's the GOAT too.
And they got Josh McDaniels, who's the GOAT for something. I don't know what he's the GOAT for, but he's the GOAT for ultimate fake outs. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll never get over how awesome that is.
That was awesome.
So moving on here, last game of the week to talk about. Actually, we got two of them. We got the Rams and the Niners, and then we got Thursday night's game. We're not even going to talk about Thursday night's game. Broncos won.
Who played Thursday night?
Broncos, the Cardinals, 45-10.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't watch any of that. I didn't need to. It was fucking terrible. So
Cardinals 1-6.
We'll talk about the last game of the week. Another 1-16. The 49ers are hosting the Rams. Rams are 7-0. They don't look bulletproof. I know they're on a roll. I don't think they get to 16-0, but they are kicking the shit out of everybody that comes their way.
I mean, what else do you need to know? They've gotten really lucky with the schedule. They've played the 49ers. They've played the Cardinals. They've played the Seahawks. The schedule is not going to get any harder either.
They got a tough stretch here for a few games. They got Green Bay. They're at New Orleans. That's the one right there that everybody's going to be looking at. They're at New Orleans. They got Kansas City coming in, November 19th. They play Philly. Who knows where Philly's going to be at the end of the year. They may be desperate looking for a win, but they end the year at Arizona and with San Francisco. So if they get past, these next 3 or 4 weeks, we could be looking at, potentially an undefeated Rams team. which would be crazy. Jared Goff. It's one thing when Tom Brady leads his team to an undefeated season. It's another thing when Jared Goff does it.
Their defense is so good. Their defense is so freaking good. And
they were good today.
The fucking Rams, dude.
They're a complete team. So they're a complete team. They got a good coaching staff. They got McVay and Phillips. They got pretty good quarterback. Goff's coming through. I will say this:
it'd be a boring Super Bowl if they were in the Super Bowl.
I don't know how many people from LA. I mean, here's the thing though: if the Rams win this Super Bowl, and you're the Chargers, you just gotta leave town. I mean, do you just have to leave? Because you're never going to get any fans. You're never going to get any fans.
I mean, I would move them to San Antonio. I think San Antonio, Texas could probably hold another team. Texas is fucking huge. Bring them to San Antonio. Make some money. You said it too, man. Bring them to OKC. Bring them to Oklahoma.
People in Oklahoma love football. They love it there.
Bring them to Mexico City. Bring them to anywhere. Just get them out of LA.
Just get them out of LA. Last game of the week going on Sunday night. We got the Bengals, the Chiefs. We got the Giants, the Falcons tomorrow night. Chiefs are up 7-0. Start of the second quarter here. Patty Mahomes already got 100 yards and a touchdown. We're going to get out of here. Go check that out. PG closing. Actually, wasn't there one other thing we were going to talk about? I can't remember.
You want to talk about college ball at all?
Oh, that's right. All right. So we're all done with the college ball. That was the one thing I wanted to talk about. Thank you, PG, for reminding me. Hey, Tennessee fans, it's me, Bobby Fever. I'm back. You had a week reprieve after your victory over Auburn, but I was there for every single sad fan crowd shot of the week, and that was sweet. 20-0 at the end of the first quarter. You are not even fucking close to competing. And I'm glad that Nick was able to come in there this week and remind you of what scum you are. You can't do that to a man. You can't do that to a man. And then, of course, the other wonderful moment of the week, the Ohio State Buckeyes got butt stomped by Purdue. It is a Purdue. They lost to Iowa by about 4 touchdowns last year. And then they go into Purdue on a random weekend in October and get the shit kicked out of them. If you want to know how far apart Nick Saban is from Urban Meyer as a head coach, Nick Saban hasn't lost to an unranked team since 2007 or something like that. He's won 100 straight games against them. Urban Meyer's lost to 3 in the last 3 years. So learn how to fucking get your team ready, Urban. Learn how to make it so they don't have letdowns against Purdue. Because I don't want to hear a fucking thing from you if you get left out of the playoff because you deserved it. Because this is a turd, the biggest turd. This is a Randy Marsh award. That's an NFL award, but we're going to give it to Ohio State this week because they made the biggest turd of the week.
Just so that we all are on the same page, Purdue lost to Eastern Michigan. Just to put everything into perspective.
So if we use the transitive property, which we used to do this in my high school. So my high school, we were fucking terrible at pretty much every sport except for wrestling. We had a great wrestling team, but other than that, I wasn't a wrestler, so I didn't get to partake in any of those victories. So we had a below average football team and a far, far below average basketball team. And at a certain point in time, we actually set a state record for consecutive losses. So we lost 39 times in a row, which is a lot of times. It's a lot of times to lose in a row. So we would play. I would call it the transitive property game. We'd be like, all right, we played, high school East, and they lost to the South by 20 points. Well, we lost to South by 15 points. So if we do the math there, we should beat these guys by 5 points, right? So we got a shot. We got a shot tonight, everybody. And then we go out, we lose by 15, 20 points to those guys and get the shit kicked out of us. So, but if we use that same transitive property, which doesn't apply to sports, only mathematics, Ohio State would get beat by Eastern Michigan as well.
Math looks good to me. Makes sense to me.
I'll check out. Let me go ahead and get the abacus out. Yep. Yeah, you move those little things around there. I don't know how that works, but cross-checked it. Everything's good.
You're going to post pictures of these sad fans, right, on your Twitter?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start a whole new Twitter account that's just sad fan crowd shots. So no one fucking no. Hey guys from Sweden, don't you fucking jump me on that before I get that going tonight. I don't want you to to get in on that. But that's one of my favorite things in sports. So I'm gonna start getting that going. I would seen a seems like there's a place in the market for that for people who just really enjoy the
The
sadness
classic.
and the soul crushing effects of college football.
There's a couple classic ones. There's like the sad Oklahoma Sooner fan or the Ohio State fan with the clarinet, kind of like a larger woman.
Yeah.
That's a classic one. Tim Tebow tearing up on the sidelines in the SEC championship game. That one people seem to really like. I
Yeah,
don't
I
like
mean,
that one.
that was that's maybe how I got into the game. That's maybe my entry point into this world of sadness that is college sports.
The one this weekend that was funny was the guy who he colored. He did the face paint. He looks almost like a jester, like a Cirque du Soleil like
Yeah,
dancer. Like he wears feathers and shit on the weekends. He should have stayed home and masturbated. He should not have come to this game because he dressed like a clown. He looked like a fucking clown, but like a sad clown. Pretty epic.
I just like to envision that guy, the rest of that guy's night after the game. So he's on his way out of the stadium, and he is just a walking target for every fucking Purdue fan. And so when I was in the Marine Corps, we had this one dude, recruit Moss. So this Moss guy, he was 6'6". He was chubby motherfucker, and he looked like Sloth from Goonies. Okay,
Ugh.
so he's just a
Wait, is Sloth the fat guy or is Sloth a monster? Is he like the truffle shuffle kid or the monster?
Chunk is the fat kid. So Sloth is the monster.
Okay,
Chunk
Chunk
is
and
the
Sloth.
fat kid. So he
Got it.
like Sloth from Goonies, but he had in boot camp you got to wear those Drew Carey glasses. So it was like Sloth from Goonies with Drew Carey glasses on in a Marine Corps uniform. So it was a sight to be seen. And that guy was like fucking catnip for drill instructors. The drill instructors from your own platoon, they're gonna fuck everybody up. But he was catnip for like every drill instructor on the depot. Like no drill instructor could walk by that kid and not give him a hard time. Like they
That's
would just see
awesome.
him and it was like a woman in a short skirt and they could not fucking stay away. And they'd make their way up to him. They would just fuck this kid up and they just fuck him up all the time.
Just catcalling him the whole time, huh?
Yeah, they're just, it's all personal. Like it's all very personal attacks. Like his view of himself and the way that he looks in the mirror, like that guy. I just imagine that guy looking at himself in the mirror the way that recruit Moss did, because that fucking old, overweight, face painted fan from Ohio State. I'd like to. He's catnip for all these pumped up, drunken Purdue fans coming out of there, and he's not passing a crowd of more than 3 people without somebody giving him the business. So he's got a long way out of that stadium, like 30 minutes of just solid abuse. Part of it's
Yeah.
going to be about, hey, his team lost, but the other part of it's going to be personal about what an asshole he looks like. At least that's the way I'd do it. But not everyone out there is like me. So, but some people are worse than me, some people are better. But, I like to think that I'm somewhere in the middle. But I'd be coming after that guy too if I was a Purdue fan. So I like to think about him making his way back either to his car, because I don't know where Purdue is. I don't even know what fucking state Purdue is in. I think it's in Indiana, if I'm guessing. So I just think of
Doesn't
one of
matter.
2 things. He's either, staying in his hotel room or ideally making a very long midnight trip home with all that makeup on and then having to stop at like a gas station. He goes out, he's trying to fill his car. Some other Purdue fan there who's going to fucking get at him there at the gas station too. And then finally he gets home and he gets in his shower and he's just like, all this face paint is just coming off of him. And it's all mixed with just tears of the sadness from the loss, and then also tears of just the fucking pent up frustration of the personal abuse that he's been suffering for the last 12 hours. And I'd like to think, I guarantee he's not the type of guy who would take the hint, but I'd like to think that he's going to learn his lesson and not fucking dress up like an asshole like that anymore and go to road games. All right.
You only do that once. You don't do that again.
He's going to do it again. You don't get to be doing that stuff and have any kind of self-awareness. Like, you cannot be self-aware and be a 55, 60-year-old man dressing up, painting your fucking face and wearing shamrocks to away games. No. So I like to think that he's probably the saddest man, in America right now. Yeah, that's all. That's his cross to bear. That's not for me. That's his cross to bear. It's a situation that he put himself in. He's gonna have to absorb the responsibility for that.
Yeah, he's gonna have to wear that A, from the Scarlet Letter. He's gonna have to wear that thing.
So I don't feel sad for him. I don't feel sad for any Tennessee fans, obviously, fucking dirtbags, and I don't feel sad for anybody at Ohio State. We'll see how the rest of the college football season plays out, but I'll be surprised unless Tua gets hurt. I don't see anyone beating Bama. No one's beating Bama. They're head and shoulders above everybody else. But I am looking forward to them going into we got two good ones coming up in the SEC. We got the world's biggest cocktail party next week. Got your boys playing Georgia Bulldogs. That'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one.
After that, we got LSU hosting Alabama. And we'll see.
That'll be a good one, too.
We'll see how that goes. I'm anticipating at least 200 We got to fire Ed Orgeron threads going on after that game. This is why we need to get rid of Ed.
We need to buy him out. Buy his ass out.
Got to buy him out. Bad news for Auburn fans. Gus Malzahn got the victory last week, so they gotta calm down with their buyout business. What can you do? All right, everybody. Have the rest of the weekend, and we'll go ahead. We'll see you back here next week for a Week 8 NFL preview.